later on, when he is in his 30s, he dies on the cross. And then Jesus also prophesied that Jerusalem be just destroyed because the disciples say to Jesus, "Look how beautiful this temple is," and he says that not one stone will remain upon another. It'll all be destroyed, and surely that did happen after sometime after Jesus died and was resurrected from the dead. I believe the Romans were responsible for that. And then the last year, the 1 times 7, is reference to the tribulation period. Because during the 7-year peace treaty, that's also determined as a tribulation period. And during this period is when, the more proper term would be all heaven break loose. Because if you read Book of Revelation, it talks about all kinds of different plagues and things going on to happen, and I'll go through that in another video. I would do it now, but it's already 3-4 minutes in, and I'm not trying to make this too much longer than what it is. So maybe the next one I'll jump into the Book of Revelation. Okay. And according to the Jewish calendar, the 69th week would lead up to Jesus Christ's entry into Jerusalem and then his death and resurrection. The prophecy in Daniel regards to the Anointed One, who was prophesied in the early 2nd or 3rd century, and it came to pass in 30 A.D. The 70th week. Oh, talking about like I said, then Christ make a covenant with Israel, and Daniel 8, I would say was kind of a kicker for me. Like, meaning got confused. And in Daniel 8, it talks about a ram and a he-goat. And in verse 4 in chapter 8, it talks about, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And it came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of the one of them came forth, here it comes again, a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the hosts and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. And he magnified himself, even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. So here we go again. In chapter 8, it talks about the sacrifices being taken away. So this is another reference, I believe, from what I believe, to the Antichrist. So let's see. But there's different theories talking about what the ram and what the goat was. And here's one theory. Um, and again, I got a link to this. There's a theory that says that Persia was the ram, and Medo-Persia being the two horns, power and authority, and the notable horn was Alexander the Great. Not touching the ground, we talked about the speed of his army, and notable horns. Four of Alexander's generals, two of them made dynasties that impact Jews, who was caught in the middle between them, and both dynasties descended from. Ugh. So okay, now we're getting to Daniel 11, which talks about the king of the north and king of the south. And basically, in Daniel 11, there's this war going on between two kings, the king of the north and king of the south. And they think that Seleucus was the north king, which ruled Antioch in Syria, and also Jerusalem. And I'm not gonna dare pronounce this dude's name. I can't. But it's Ptolemy, which they believe is the South King who ruled Egypt from Alexandria. And the two dynasties fought from the time of Alexander to the middle of the 2nd century BC in a period of 2 centuries. Okay. Now these are the reasons why they think that these two represents the two kings. But with this theory, I'm not 100% sure on. But I can kind of see why they think that. But one reason is because the king's daughter Bernice, it says that let's see. Let me go there real quick. Oh, excuse me, I have to put my bag. I just want to make sure I read it so you know what I'm talking about. Okay. It's in verse 6. For the king's daughter of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement that she shall not retain the power of the arm, neither shall he stand nor his arm, but she shall be given up, and they that bought her, and he that begot her, and he that strengthened her in these times. Well, the king's daughter, Bernice, the daughter of the second, what they think is the second king, king of the south, married Antiochus II, and his ex-wife apparently was not happy that they were married, so she unfortunately had Bernice and her infant killed. And they think that's what giving up means. But the reason why I question that is because where it says, also, and he that begat her, and he that strengthened her in these times. So that's why I kind of question that. Ptolemy, I don't know. The third made war against Syria to avenge his sister's death from 246 to 241 BC. Daniel 11:17. Let me read that real quick. He shall also set his face to enter with the strength of his whole kingdom, and upright ones with him. Thus shall he do. And he shall give him the daughter of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. Now with that one, they're thinking that, okay, Antiochus gave Cleopatra to Ptolemy, and 195 BC, hoping that he will get the upper hand over Egypt, but Cleopatra sided with her husband instead. So that's why they think that. But and there's other reasons as well, but I kind of question that theory. But what do you guys think? Do you think, well, what do you think about the prophecies, what they represent and mean? Because I'm just starting to study and understand. But with the king of the north, the king of the south, I personally kind of wonder if that hasn't happened yet. Of course, I could be wrong, but I kind of wonder if it hasn't exactly quite happened yet. But though, talking about the other end time prophecies, talking about the beast and the little horn, that's definitely going to come to pass during the tribulation period. So if you got more input on this, that'd be appreciated. And like I said, I'm just starting to, get into more depth of these. Because like I said, it's just gonna be starting points. These videos are just gonna be starting points. In studying these things. I'm I definitely need to study more to get more into depth of what this is, especially for me, the King of the North, the King of the South, because that one always kind of had me a little confused. But hopefully, if nothing else, this is good starting points. Excuse me. But what do you think? Do you have another theory on any of these prophecies? And if you do, give me your resources so I can look at it. But like I said, I did some research and I found different theories to different things, and some of them that I just talked about, they did make sense, but I still kind of wonder. At least, the one, the King of the North, the King of the South. For sure, though, talking about the four beasts, meaning about the lion and the bear and stuff, I believe that's pretty spot on. And I also believe that the scarlet beast, it goes in line with maybe the one about Babylon. Maybe I'm kind of iffy on that one, but for sure though, the little horn, that is definitely talking about the Antichrist. Also, I read another theory talking about the 10 toes on the idol. Some people wonder if that's talking about the 10 nations that's mentioned in the book of Revelation as well. And I see that as a possibility. So, again, this is just starting point stuff for me. If you've got anything else you can add to this, again, I'd appreciate it. But hopefully, if nothing else, that this is just a good starter point and studying more about what's going on here in the book of Daniel. But with the book of Revelation, I think with the book of Revelation, I'm just going to read it bit by bit. And then, I'll make comments here and there and try to get some input on it. Because with Book of Revelation, it's definitely one of the hardest books, in my opinion, to interpret. Because for me, the biggest thing is to figure out what is literal and what's symbolic. Because a whole bunch of things going on in Revelation, and some things make me, question what's literal or not. And one of those things is the locust. That's, I believe, in Revelation 9. But we'll get to that when I read about it. So, hope things are going good for you. Please pray for for people that's just suffering the chaos throughout the world, including those in Afghanistan. It's it is an awful, awful shame what is going on to them because of the Biden administration. It's a very sad situation. It should not have happened. It shouldn't have been like that. It could have definitely been different. It could have been, things could have gone far better. But unfortunately, it is. I don't want to say it is what it is because it's kind of cruel, but I just hope that things change for them soon, because those people really need help. So please pray for them. Pray for everybody, because we're truly at the end times. Like I said, I'm not going to make no predictions, but I just would not be shocked if the rapture in the tribulation is going to come up within maybe the next, let's say 2 to 5 or so, maybe 2 to 5 years. I mean, again, I'm not prophesying. I'm not saying that's when oh yeah, it's going to happen that time. I'm not saying that, because the rapture could happen at any moment. Okay? All I'm saying is I would not be shocked if it does happen during that time. If the tribulation period begins within maybe the next 2 to 5 years, I would not be surprised. Am I right? Maybe I'm not. Well, God knows for sure. But the way things are going, like I said, all I'm saying is I would not be surprised if it will start that quickly. Or maybe sooner or later. Only the Lord knows. But hope is well with you. May the Lord be with you. Love you all. See you in the next video.